Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
So, this is a really important topic for me, and this wasn't actually my original topic, but I decided that, fuck it, we're gonna talk about it earlier when we were talking about sci-fi and Mass Effect.
Oh god.
Sex in video games.
Alright.
Okay.
And
Alright.
Sexism in video games, comic books, nerdy things in general.
Alright, here's the thing. I'm gonna go out the gate with this right now. It actually makes me a little bit upset when and this is the internet's way of looking at it as well, but it is a legitimate way that I've felt about it for a while, is
goddamn neckbeards.
God, no. Women, that's so mean. Females are very upset about their portrayal, the female image in video games, specifically comic book, very nerdy comic book, sci-fi, superhero style of games, movies.
Your boobs are bigger than your head.
Yeah, they're very upset about that, and that's a legitimate thing to be upset about. I get that. The thing is guys are also portrayed in a very similar way.
Yeah, the big.
We're always
Gears
ripped.
of War,
We're always
Call of Duty,
fucking
big guys.
We're
jacked.
middle-aged, white, and ripped.
Yeah, like we are always fucking jacked.
It's like the video games, the things where it's all the same protagonist.
Yeah, like
you know?
I don't get mad when I play Gears of War because my arms aren't the size of tree trunks. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't get mad when that happens because I just don't. Like women get mad about very many things because they feel like they can, and they can. That's
And
fine. That's totally cool.
wanna-
It's just like we don't. Men don't.
I want to disarm this real quick.
Sure.
And not exactly say you're wrong, but steer it away from that line of thinking.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel.
Yeah, because men don't particularly get flack because when like, do you even lift? That doesn't really actually happen.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like
among these communities,
Yeah.
while as the female stuff
That actually does happen.
what it means to be a man is a lot different than like womanhood and stuff.
Second,
Sure.
I don't want to talk about a feminist viewpoint for this. I want to talk about how you, as a male, perceives it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I don't. Okay, stay with me. I get annoyed
I'm out.
by
Sorry.
feminism, not because feminism is bad. It's absolutely essential, but because it's been tagged with radical groups. It's like how when you say Republican, you think of shit like Rush Limbaugh instead of
and
just
stuff like Fox
actual
News and
normal Republicans.
Sure.
Same thing with feminism.
When something is brought up, the extreme is always thought of.
I don't like the extreme of it because a lot of people who feel really strongly about feminism will miss the point, and to them it doesn't become about equality. It becomes about women being better than men.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with like men in video games being really jacked.
It's the same thing
love it.
with
I fucking love it.
But for men, we don't view that as that's how we're supposed to look.
It's an ideal.
And if we don't look like that, then it's
we're
wrong.
bad.
Yeah.
It's an ideal.
For a lot
they
of
always like the ideal women, you know.
Yeah,
See,
for a lot of
sure.
portrayal of women, it's like this is the better way to look, this is the correct way to look, and women have a lot of insecurities with just the way our culture is built around that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean historically and culturally speaking, that's always been an issue.
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
I mean,
Because
like,
that's
even
just
evolutionary
one,
wise.
yeah, you can even do the religious stuff in about like burqas and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Or the foot binding in China. I mean,
And
that's
whatever.
why this whole
'Cause
feminism
that's
class
just-
is devoted to this stuff.
Because that's just one ideal of beauty. It's not.
Sure.
It's not going to be everybody's. It's not never going to satisfy.
But the media
everybody.
really pushes the portrayal.
Because it's
of-
not just
but-
video games
because
or
it sells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
sells.
why I want to steer it away from that is because talking about that doesn't really get it anywhere because
Sure.
it's one of the things, if you say anything that's slightly off, then you can instantly be labeled
As
a racist or
sexist
or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, like, for instance, and some bad stuff gets caught up in the crossfire in this. Like, I have these two elderly lesbian neighbors who live right behind me They have beautiful yard master gardeners. I think they're actually pleasant people, but they're very.
Did you say they're gardeners?
Master gardeners?
That's awesome.
I know, but
That's
you know,
cool.
like
they just look at dirt and trees come up.
No, you know, like you see, like from
they're like they do.
you know, like
they're like.
have you ever been to like a botanical garden?
Yeah.
But their yard is like that.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Super.
That's
cool.
really cool. That's probably how they met.
Yeah, but they're very crotchety. I'm sorry.
Quit throwing stuff at me.
I just accidentally shot
hairband.
Were you wearing that hairband?
I can.
He does sometimes.
I can do a short ponytail now.
That's fucking cool.
Your hair looks it doesn't great. Even look faggy.
Your hair looks great, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. But for instance, they're very secluded, and because they feel. And I imagine they're sort of lonely because they feel like they're attacked and stuff.
Sure, they feel a little extra.
They get the extreme,
and
I mean, they're very older generation. They're retired. I mean, so they went through it when it was really not accepted. But
when it was really hard for them to do that.
They latched onto some of the extremist stuff. Like, they won't even read books that are written by men.
Oh, really?
And like some of the stuff like that is just sad, but. That doesn't make you necessarily an awful person.
Sure.
It's just, again, it goes back to what we were talking about before about open-mindedness. But I don't want to steer with that because then that becomes politics and then that becomes politically incorrectness. And knowing the internet, we're going to offend someone and everyone.
I really don't care who.
I don't care. Listen, let me say this. When me and Andrew decided to do this, I already knew every single episode we do, somebody's out there is going to take what I say out of context and label me as something that
I know,
I'm not.
But
I want to see where he's going with this.
Yeah,
I know.
Go on.
I don't care about that because that's done to death with everything. But I want to be different and say shit like playing fighting games. I'm fucking uncomfortable being female fighters or having to watch female fighters.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
I'm sorry. Why?
Because
fighting games specifically, for some reason, over-sexualize women a lot and really like to give them huge boobs and stuff.
It's like what Ivy in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Awesome character, totally ruined.
That's the thing about me with comic books is, it makes me uncomfortable that there's drawn so sexualized to the point where they it's just like. It's basically porn. And
it is softcore.
It actually makes me uncomfortable that I can't say that I like a female character who's in a comic book or a fighting game without people thinking that I jack off to them. Because that's usually not the case. Usually. But, like, that's the thing is, like, if I'm talking about, like, oh, you know, that like that's not really what this character looks like in that cartoon. Like, look up what they look like in the comic. And then all the things that come up is, like, them naked. And
it's embarrassing. And I think it's a large part of the reason that comic books can't be taken seriously.
It doesn't set a good image for people who like comic books.
It's why it's
like sure that's what sells.
I mean, talking about like the before nerds are cool.
Yeah.
It's sort of smut.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What were you saying, Andrew?
It's like you know, people like people who make Dead or Alive or or things like that.
Sure.
They know that's what's gonna sell. And that's why they make that. But in something that's trying to be taken seriously, it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I'm sorry, were you?
No, like you can go ahead.
The thing that I don't like about like over-sexualizing women is sometimes that becomes the entire point of the character.
Yeah.
And it makes them not interesting.
What's her face?
Not only Power Girl?
Power Girl.
Can I say I love Power Girl.
Okay.
I know, but it's a character that's destroyed by it.
Oh yeah. Totally. But I love her character.
Not only do a lot of
other dimensional Kryptonian, great.
Again, that's a really perfect example of a character who got like derailed and destroyed by sexuality.
Definitely. Yeah,
definitely.
They tried to do that with Wonder Woman.
They definitely did. Yeah,
like Wonder Woman went through some interesting stuff in the 70s, 80s.
That's not cool. Wonder Woman is the female Superman, where she's supposed to be a boy. I mean, like a Girl Scout.
She's supposed to be the Girl Scout.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
what stuff went on in the 70s?
I think
they tried to make her sexy. We would just watch the history of it.
They did. Yeah. They tried to make her sexy, and she was just like sex appeal, and like a lot of all of the issue covers were like her tied up. And
because there is the bondage thing with her.
Sure.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of comic book history. Was Wonder Woman in bondage.
But it's never been an explicit thing. It's been a very
it wasn't the 70s.
Yeah,
but the point is that it can ruin something.
Yeah.
Definitely. Power Girl specifically.
But an issue that's close at hand for me is, let's talk about, like, I'm gonna sound pretentious and hipster, but let's talk about, like, real nerds. Let's talk about uncomfortable to talk to.
Before they were romanticized by Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, like Asperger's nerds.
Do you, okay.
Part of being a nerd, like, a dork or geek, like, in the negative way, is that a lot of things in your interests, there's an underlying thing that people see you as a pervert.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the immature way that
because you're not social, because you don't know how to talk to girls.
You're social, and then you say, look at my interests, and it's softcore porn and comic books, and you can't. I mean, you'll explain that has an amazing plot.
It illegitimizes.
Illegitimizes.
Yeah,
it does that to you. It makes you seem so much less legitimate when you say.
You'll explain it has a great plot, but then mainstream people who have no clue, will just hear it as I watch porn for the plot.
Exactly, and it makes you seem just like a pervert because you can't show somebody something that you like without them taking out the piece that they want to see.
Yeah.
That's just
it's judging something by its cover.
Totally.
That's never gonna go away.
I mean, the cover is horrible to begin with. Like the cover is the issue here. It's not other people judging us by the cover. It's because I mean, judging by the cover, it's useful.
Yeah.
I pick out books, music, CDs by cover. Guess what? Usually it's right. As like horrible racist sounds. Like, judging by the cover is sort of a necessary thing in life, because that's the first image. That's like
it's
the first impression.
That's the first thing you learn in marketing, is like, people will always say that, but people do it. Like,
if you say first impression, it's okay. If you say judging by cover, it's bigoted.
Well, that's because that has the connotation of not looking any further.
Yeah.
Because first impression is different. First impression
implies that you're going to later on search beyond that first impression.
Judging by a cover means you see it and you think you already know.
And immediately get rid of it.
Yeah.
All of the internet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just blinked on her name. She's one of the best characters.
Huh.
It's DC's S.H.I.E.L.D., black, stocky woman, head of it, the program.
Oh, she's in
Justice League and
she's in Justice League. She actually, I just watched an episode of Batman Beyond with her.
Yeah, where
she's an African American woman who is like
I just
short,
on her name.
very stocky, and
the political woman.
Yeah,
I don't
not
remember her
fucking
name.
afraid of Batman.
Oh my god!
Do you see what you see? Like you see?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Oh my god! We're full comic book nerds.
You
just blanked on
you
one
have
of
a
them.
Star Trek device in front of you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah,
it's not a cell phone. It's a Star Trek device.
I've been trying to look
it
up
is.
right now.
Think about it. It's a fucking Star Trek.
It's
endless,
tablet.
unlimited knowledge in the palm of your hand.
It's great. Anyways, sorry.
I was gonna just be like, can we have a moment of silence for how they made her skinny?
Did they really?
They made her slutty and skinny.
In what?
In the DC reboot, remember?
New 52?
Yeah, New 52.
Yeah, I believe that. New 52, they did a lot of weird stuff that I don't like.
But I
ultimately don't even like it, so.
Yeah, and fans were outraged.
Why did they make her skinny?
Because that's what sells. That's what.
Is she? Wait. Is she a sex appeal now? Is she? Oh my god! He just nodded for those who can't see. Now I'm mad.
I nodded silently because I couldn't bring myself to speak about it.
Yeah, that actually is really
Have you found
lame.
her name yet?
I have not.
Take a strong female character. Didn't matter what she looked like before. Take a strong female character and turn her into sex appeal later.
She was ethnic, stocky, black, overweight.
Yeah.
But she was one of the most badass characters.
She was a strong fucking character.
But I know a bunch of I feel bad because people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you aren't real nerds, you can't even remember names. I'm like, I'm socially awkward, I can't remember names in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's a different.
I don't even know my name.
Different situation when you're on the spot, honestly.
It doesn't matter if you're fictional or not, I'm horrible with names.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, no, yeah.
Amanda Knox?
No, Amanda Knox.
It is?
Amanda Knox?
Yeah.
I knew it was Amanda something.
Wait, what?
Oh, you mean the person...
Yeah.
The black lady?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was talking about the trial. The trial of the girl who supposedly killed her roommate.
Guys, I was so confused.
In Italy.
Because
that's Amanda Knox.
You all were saying this name.
It might be Fowler.
You were all saying this name and looking at each other and nodding, and I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember.
Then why did you nod at me and say oh, that's completely off topic thing? It's
Well, I was just like, I thought you were just trying to remember a random name.
No, I thought you were gonna. He probably thought you were gonna use that as a jumping off point to what's similar. You know, like.
Or maybe? No, I thought he was just like
there's an Amanda
trying to remember
Waller.
something.
Waller.
That's what it is.
Waller.
That's what it is.
You should do like a still video. Throw up a before after picture for an example.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's heartbreaking for me.
It was a strong character, and it got ruined by that.
Yeah,
that sucks. That super sucks.
But I just wanted to talk about how it holds back so much of the maturity and great things that could have been in the industry, and also, I mean, it's not as much now since nerds are romanticized, it's this. There is an underlying pervert thing where you think of neckbeard, you think of someone who faps to fucking. What's the
Does it matter specifically?
Tentacle porn, whatever.
Hentai, tentacle porn, MLP, whatever.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I've had some really interesting conversations with people who've shamefully done Rule 34 art because it's easy, cheap, and exploitable.
And it sells.
Yep.
Yeah. I won't use names, but I have a friend who does that.
Yeah. What's the name of the MLP town where it's like Arcadia After Dark or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
You can add After Dark.
I don't look at pony porn.
I'm sorry, I spend time on 4chan.
but I think
I'm not trying to be edgy. I'm just hooked.
You're just very aware.
But like going back to the issue, what I think, like there are women who are attractive in that way, but when every woman is attractive in that way,
and to have a character suffer because of that.
Yeah. I've never been attracted to the big boobs. AA American girl thing.
I have.
You have?
I have.
I very much have.
I think going up on the East Hill, I don't like that girl.
You're a simple man.
I like ethnic food. I like ethnic women.
Like for me personally,
it's so bad.
It's true.
It's very true.
You know what's horrible is when people be like,
your girlfriend is Asian.
It's one of the most horrible things where like I like East African and Persian women are beautiful. If you say it, if you're right, you're a colonist bastard.
Yeah, you're
Go
a weirdo.
rape their village.
Yeah. And that sucks. That goes back to last topic.
I probably wouldn't even say that, but it's too late now, and we've had such a good conversation.
Screw it.
Yeah, I'm using it, dude.
Yeah.
But for like going off of like being attracted to those kind of women, like the one that I think of, it's like the only like superhero woman that I've been attracted to. For me, it's Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel is awesome.
Sure, she's a bombshell,
I've always thought
bro.
Miss Marvel was so super sexy.
Sure,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would agree 100%.
Okay,
that's how
one of my future topics.
Let me just say,
let's not get into this because future topics I was going to talk about sexuality in fictional characters, but right now.
Anyways,
let's not talk about waifus. Let's talk about how it ruined the thing.
Well, because honestly,
have you ever had some like personal experience with a character where it just ruined it? For me, it was the Amanda Wallace. I just didn't even bother with a lot of the new 52 stuff about that, and also fighting games. It took me so long to get into fighting games and stuff, and about I think the only one that's tame enough that I really love. Which is perfect because it's also DC is Injustice, but like for instance, like the MK reboot, I love the shit out of that. But
all the girls are naked.
All the girls are naked because it's solid '90s design.
Yeah,
and they didn't get out of the '90s. I'm hoping with MK10 they get out of the '90s.
Don't hold your breath.
No.
Yeah, I know. I don't expect them to.
For me, a character like that would be Judith from Tales of Vesperia. She's a really cool character.
Judith's awesome.
She's such a cool character.
But they over-sexualize her.
She walks around in a bikini all the time.
And she has huge boobs.
For me, and I'm going to go back to something we talked about at the beginning of this podcast, is Ashley from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to talk about Mass Effect 2. As it went on, the women became less and less strong characters, more and more fuckable playmates.
Sexual.
Tally, look at Tally.
That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah.
Tally was such a strong.
Okay.
You couldn't romance her. That made perfect sense.
See,
but
here's the thing with me though. I'm a gross person.
I know.
I think. Fuck you. Wait, guys. Can I just say?
No. I meant like me too. Like I'm not gonna say.
At the core,
I like the fact that they made Ashley an attractive person.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
As well as a strong character.
At our core, as men, obviously, if a girl's attractive, of course we're gonna like that. But the thing is, we have minds beyond our penises, and that's where the issue lies. I don't know about you.
Okay. Here's an important note I want to say.
Can I say like one quick sentence?
Where he goes, I follow.
Literally. Yeah. It's always in front of you.
You can make a female character attractive, but you could also rate them intelligently.
Sure.
You know, if you write, I don't, and I that doesn't mean write a girl as if they're a guy. That means write them as a character, not as a pair of boobs.
People don't know how to do that, and if they do, it's a really rare situation.
Yeah.
Or it just gets watered down.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say about the penis veins note. A penis are not our veins, but that doesn't mean we will fall for the temptation and follow the penis anyway, and will be ashamed afterwards.
And every man who argues the things we're arguing is in some ways a hypocrite, because we all know we're attracted to the.
Want to know a very personal thing about me?
Yes, I do. Internet? Ross, please explain.
Yeah, how big's your penis?
Everyone wants to know.
Let's all whip it out, lay it on the table. Here's mine.
and here's mine.
I hope the mic picked that up.
But Mass Effect was one of the first things that made me enter into Rule 34 actually exists, and all this fictional porn.
Oh, I see.
As I randomly got more and more into that underbelly of the internet.
Well, you became so interested in just Mass Effect, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so eventually you devolved into.
It's hard to avoid that when you're that interested in something.
Yeah, but where I want to go further with this is go Mass Effect 2 and talk about Tali as a character and just all the females as a character, how they watered down the characters so you could fuck them. So Tali was a character. She was alien. You couldn't romance her. Of course you can't romance her. They're alien. You're not compatible.
Yeah, she has to wear a helmet.
Well, did you romance her in the second game?
You can.
Fuck yeah, I did. But that doesn't mean I wasn't annoyed by the fact that they made her romantic.
No, because you never get that far.
It's true.
If you go through her romance, she's like, we can't do this. We still can't.
No, but she takes a bunch of stims and you risk it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You take a bunch of stims and you take off a mask and you risk it. They don't show anything.
No, I remember.
They
okay.
risk
I
it.
didn't think they went all the way.
Yeah, but they go all the way. But here's the thing.
Yeah, she had to wear an entire body biosuit to stay alive.
But going back, Mass Effect 1, independent character, not even a thought of it. I fell in love with her character. And then in Mass Effect 2, they turned her into the shy girl archetype.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Jack, they made broken goods. And then Miranda, they also made broken goods.
Yeah,
but with daddy issues.
Broken goods with daddy issues and fucking bombshell.
But I mean, I remember us being so upset because Jack was one of my most interesting characters to me.
Definitely an interesting character.
And the character ended up hating my character because I said stuff like, I'm interested, tell me more. And that triggered the lock-in for now you're romancing
that happened
him.
To me too, unfortunately.
And then I'm like, I broke it off. I only wanted to be friends.
Spoilers, what happened in Mass Effect 3 for you then?
I haven't played Mass Effect 3.
You're the only one who's played Mass Effect 3 yet.
I've got...
Okay, so you can come into contact with her in Mass Effect 3.
Oh,
and there are a couple of different options of what, depending on how you interacted with her in 2...
So they fixed it a little bit?
Yeah, so it can be like, if she hated your guts, one thing will happen in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
If she, was your friend, was your bro, another thing will happen.
Yeah.
If she was your romance, then a different thing will happen.
Okay, I'm glad they reconciled a little bit, but the issue still remains. Like, in the first one, Liara, this professor, strong character, they make her attracted to you for basically no reason.
Seriously, it's super easy to romance Liara in the first game.
You are literally touched by a protein artifact. That means she wants to bang you.
Pretty much.
Like, they shoehorn in this thing as, fat fodder.
Liara was my favorite.
No, she's a wonderful character.
But he's not saying she was a bad character.
Okay. No, not at
all.
all.
No, she's a wonderful character.
Great character.
But they diminish their characters because they want to
fuck value
in
fuck value. And that
that
ruins a lot of characters, honestly.
Yeah, like with Jack, like I didn't even know, because at the core it's still a game.
Can I ask why you're standing up?
Yeah, why are you standing?
When I get passionate about things, sometimes I stand up because I feel like an oid on the floor. But so it ruins.
Ross, you should speak at like keynotes in like colleges.
I really thought about joining debate club.
Have you really?
But
you really should. You totally should.
No, because you are so like well thought out in everything you want to talk about.
I mean, you've dominated a lot of this podcast with
I know.
I'm at my most calm when shit is going down and I'm debating.
That's
like,
awesome.
You know, I'll
our
sneak
podcasts
into my
that don't
house.
have Ross are going to be so uninteresting.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay,
you're
like,
now
honestly,
a staple of this show, by the way.
Like honestly, for instance, I'm like, hey mom, I don't believe in God and I'm disenfranchised. Hey mom, I smoke weed. Hey mom, I think I might be gay.
Did you already tell them that your mom is like a really Christian? Like,
So my mom's really Christian, but you know, when I'm having these things, I get my most zen, just because like that's when I can put all emotion aside, and it's this weird because it's the opposite with every single other person in the world.
That's
mostly.
sick as fuck. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome.
It's a really lame superpower for someone who doesn't interact with people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
very
if
true.
I was more scummy, I could be like a Wall Street.
It's like you have
you have an
awesome superpower for somebody who would be much more of a social butterfly.
Yeah.
But for like people like us, is very not useful at all.
Okay.
You should, and this is like a legitimate like recommendation. You should start your own channel where like you talk about this kind of stuff.
I told you I wanted to, but back on track. Yes. Back on track. So, this, I mean, it really upset me, and it felt like almost a betrayal of all the originality that they came into to embrace the selling of sex.
Sure.
In our culture,
I don't think it's the selling of sex. I think they wanted, in the second game, they wanted you to be able to have a romance with whoever you wanted to.
Sure, they wanted to give you more options.
The problem being, they gave you that option.
They don't know how romance works.
They didn't do it correctly.
They didn't know how to get creative with that character.
Yeah, I guess
have you enter
if
the
they
relationship
wanted,
in a natural way.
Sure.
I guess no, that is a fair point, because if you want to do it right, you'd have to be writing a book.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And not making a
and
game.
not a AAA budget video game. You don't have the budget for that.
No, God.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where a lot of the fan service, you're supposed to imagine and detail it more in your brain. And
can I tell you that's what I love about games?
Yeah.
Is imagining things about them.
That's
why love it.
Sort of
That's why
shitty
fanfiction
graphics
exists.
and indie games have thrived.
Yeah.
But can we? I had a thought and I lost it, and now I'm gonna cry.
It's okay.
All right.
It's okay. Well, we gotta wrap this up soon. The last thought I want to leave on that topic. My favorite romance in Mass Effect of all time is when you romance Garen or Garrick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or Garrus.
when you're a female shepherd and you romance
Yes.
Garrus. Let me say this: I played a male shepherd because my main shepherd.
I'm always
was
fem-shep.
Was a male shep. My main was a male shep. I did one of each.
Garrus seems really interesting because Turians are so incompatible.
Yeah, Garrus is my favorite character.
He's mine too.
He's mine too.
On either male or female, whether he is the romance character or the best fucking friend character. That by far is my favorite like best friend type of relationship that I've had in a game ever.
Okay, I remember.
I felt legitimately Ross. I felt legitimately invested in this friendship with Garrus. He's in all three games. You develop it from bottom up.
It wasn't as full artistic as, like an imaginary friend.
Sure.
But basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I understand that. Like having a strong emotional connection to a fictional character. And here's one of the bad things.
People do it with books all the time.
Here's the bad thing with nerds being socially awkward and, sort of Asperger's-y. That can go down a scary path. With MLP, as you can see. Not that liking MLP is bad.
No.
Liking MLP is fine. You can like whatever the fuck you want, but it's just the poster childs get sort of the scary one.
It's anything. The people who are the most extreme and strange are always the ones who are shown. But yeah, like you were saying, fucking.
But here's
like what you like.
Here's the thought that I want to come back and wrap this up as. It's so disappointing for me because in our culture, one there's a song by Switchfoot that's one of my favorites.
It's good. It's good band. It's a good band.
Yeah, the Easier Than Love, where sex is currency in our culture. A fucking Hot Pockets commercial selling sex instead of Hot Pockets.
It's actually fucking true.
Yeah, like, and so being a nerd and being ostracized from the mainstream, but yes, still having the mainstream taint the things we love with this devaluing and stuff is very sort of a betrayal for me.
Sure.
Because I'm like, that I got out of the mainstream sort of stuff because I didn't want to, have a fucking boner when I'm all the time. I want to watch a music video. I don't want to, watch softcore porn.
Sure.
And so that's one of the nerd things, is that we're trying to escape mainstream, but then we still embrace this mainstream idea of, this watered down sex is currency, and not even, we haven't even gotten into the sex about meaningful sex. We're just talking about 2D level shallow sex, and I think it'd be interesting to do another thing about meaningful sex in video games and comics and stuff.
This is fucking deep as shit.
but right now it's still just this watered down sex appeal fantasy because we're all so repressed and lonely. And
thanks, Ross.
Wait, that's why it works so well. I just realized.
Yeah, I know. That's why it continues to be.
Because real girls don't like nerds. So oh my god.
Yeah, it's this self-defeating cycle, and no one will ever be taken seriously. And so, if you ever create any original content, please
take the time at least.
Please, no, you can have sex in it. Just don't be boobs. I remember there's this really cool there's this Kickstarter comic book that I read because it was in the library. And everyone was raving about it, and I picked it up, and I'm like, this is shite, because it turned it into fan material, but...
fan service.
Yeah.
Open your mind!
Okay, I want you to understand how messed up this is. So it was research ancient virus type things.
Okay.
Cro-Magnon thing. But, so, there's cameras everywhere in the facility, so, of course... AAA bod model scientist girl. Oh, it's okay. It's feminism because she's the lead. No, it's not, because you have the security guard peeping Tomming on her, and then they develop a successful relationship from that. Like any girl would be able to do that. But
they make her the lead so they think it's okay, but then they still demean her.
And then they make her marry the fucking the autistic nerd with repressed sexual
so that the
tendencies.
people reading it can be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just sad, and it ruins stuff legitimate things about comic books and nerd culture that are poignant, and I don't know how you say that word because I've only read it.
Pungent.
No, poignant.
Poignant, yeah.
I don't know, I'm speaking it.
He's not talking about smells, dude.
I have an issue with that because
bad.
I've read more than I've talked in my lifetime.
It's true.
So I don't know
Get
how
ready
to
to cross over that fence.
Yeah, especially now that I found you, fellow nerds. But yeah, and it's just sad and demeaning.
It is.
And so if you ever create original content,
take the time.
Veer away from it if you can. If you can, do it as little and tastefully.
Just take it seriously.
Yeah.
Take it seriously.
And that we also love you for creating original content.
Thank you. If you're creating original content, thank you.
The best in the world.
Seriously.
Yep.
Seriously.
Well, that's going to be it for us today. I'm Andrew. Got Ross, Dylan, CJ. Thanks for joining us. We are the Legion of Super Friends. We'll be back very soon with more content. As always, we will post these in episodes on YouTube. We will have a link for our YouTube video, our YouTube channel up shortly.
Can we get matching outfits?
Dude!
I want to be the Super Twins with all four.
They can't even see us.
Mine gets all the cleavage.
They just get to know.
They just know.
I will work on developing man
each
boobs
other
if I get the deep V.
Alright. Well, otherwise you can find us on Bandcamp. We'll be the Legion of Super Friends at bandcamp.com. And you can buy the MP3 if you want to support us there. We'll have the whole entire podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, buying it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, we're free on YouTube.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what we're gonna do it. So thanks for joining us. This is the first one. It's been a lot of fun. So have a good one.
Pig.
Thank y'all. Bye. Love you. Okay. Bye.